Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining in. This evening, we have a special guest with us, Mr. 𝗚𝗪𝗡. Thank you, Vinay, for joining us this evening. A warm welcome from the Global Wedding Network Association.
Pleasure.
So his ancestral roots are Bangalore. Though he was born in Jamshedpur and schooled in Chennai, his schooling at the school of KFI, one of the schools founded by Jiddu Krishnamurthy, and his numerous interactions with artisans, as well as later he has shaped his ideas of supporting and working with rural and tribal artists and artisans. He can speak, hold your breath, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Hindi, and English, and also understand Malayalam. He has done his graduation in physics from the University of Madras and is a post-graduation in management from the National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli. Vinay has also worked in the corporate industry for about 19 years. Wow. So, Vinay, a very good evening, and tell us a little bit about yourself. We'd like to hear from you. Apart from this.
Thank you, Yogesh, and thank you, Global Wedding Network team. This is a fabulous opportunity to present to elite group of event managers and event conductors and the diamonds and stars of the event industry, especially on the wedding side. So as far as I'm concerned, though I had a long corporate stint, but throughout, since my schooling days, our teachers were actually rural artisans. We had rural potters, rural carpenters, what they call asaris, and kumbhars, and we had weavers on our campus. So our primary teachers were rural artisans, and there was a wealth of information that we have received because of them. And there was also an inherent appreciation for our traditional and tribal crafts, and the fact that about 5 crore of Indians practice some form of these art forms every day. So for me, this idea has been building up over a period of 10 years, that we wanted to create a platform to help rural artisans and also bring beautifully curated Indian art forms to consumers. So as you may know that there are 750 art clusters in India. Almost every 50 to 100 kilometers, there's a separate art cluster. So every state has about 45 to 50 art clusters. And the possibilities of creating something unique out from these places is immense. And I think, we just wanted to do something to celebrate all of this wealth of art forms that India has, and curate it and, package it well for someone, especially who wants to gift for a special occasion. We wanted to create really well curated gifts for, awesome occasions. So that was the kind of, from a customer point of view, that's what we wanted to create. And from the artisan point of view, we saw huge gaps in terms of how they were treated and what kind of incomes they were earning. And we wanted to plug the gaps there as well and increase their average earnings from 3 to 5% to about 30 to 40%. That's what we're doing now.
Wow, that's very commendable, Vinay. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
So tell us about your journey. How did this start off?
It started with my corporate work, and I worked across India in all states. Especially when I was VP with Radio Mirchi, I was handling Gujarat, and for some time I was handling Rajasthan as well. And on work, I had to handle 5 radio stations. So we would drive around Ahmedabad, Baroda, Surat, Rajkot, Jaipur. So when you drive around Rajasthan and Gujarat that way, you get to see a lot of artisans practicing their work in the villages as you drive by. And then I also handled North India, so Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh. So I have driven through Moradabad, Saharanpur, all these places which are artisan clusters of India. And we found, that main road mein kuch kar rahe hain, which like is very commercial, very touristy kind of products. Or thoda up interiors mein jaoge to you'll see some more very beautiful work, but again they are a little disconnected with the consumer. So there are a lot of opportunities of creating value if you add design to the design element, and also take it away from the regularly commercially killed aspect of handicrafts and art. So we found that there's a good place to create a balance of this and create value for an end user also.
Lovely. So you're helping them bridge the gap.
Yeah. So we've applied for about 5 design patents, 2 of which are almost through. So wherever we try and do some design innovation, we try and get a patent as well for it, because we feel that is important in protecting an original design idea as well. So that helps us keep the idea alive for a longer duration, and the artisan is also able to monetize that idea for a longer duration.
Lovely. Coming to innovative ideas, Vinay, I heard recently you won a very renowned award.
Yes. So this was, in fact, absolutely. So in fact, this is something that any Indian cultural based organization, and I'm sure there are several in our GWN network. There's a program called NICE Arohana, which is a network of Indian cultural enterprises. It is started in association with a few I would say well-meaning individuals who want to promote Indian traditional aspects. So whether it is farming, organic farming, native foods, or it is Ayurvedic health, there are a lot of startups in India which are focusing on cultural aspects of India. So this is a great platform for that. And out of 120 companies that had applied for the program, we came third nationally. So there were a couple of categories, and it was a great experience. So normally what happens is when you're an entrepreneur, you're a startup, the amount of learning that happens generally reduces your you start going into a bubble. Yeah, though you are part of associations and all that, but formal learning opportunities reduce drastically. So again, so this is one competition where they had 3-month learning program followed by the competition. So it was a nice platform.
But lovely, Vinay. Congratulations on that feat. It really adds on. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much.
Tell me, what is Tamaala about? Why Tamaala? What is behind it?
Yeah. So actually, I handle sales and operations, and my co-founder Suvarna is the heart and soul behind it. So Tamaala was a name coined by her. She heads design and curation. Tamaala is a word in Sanskrit, exists in the Greek Govinda also, where Lord Krishna is said to have grown up under the forest of Tamaala trees. And the beauty is that the word is existing in every single language around the world, and it means evergreen tree. So for us, it was like an evergreen tree that can support and protect all indigenous art forms and give them the shade and the chow for the art form, and to grow and to survive and to grow. So we found that when we were just checking up on names, that is the most popular Red Indian girl child name, Tamaala. So we said, let's take something that's Indian in context and yet, relevant globally. And that's also what we want to do with Indian art and handicrafts. We are already shipping globally, but I think we also want to do this global interaction between art forms, so that there have been a lot of art forms that have gone from India over the last couple of millennia into other countries and have become something else. So there's a beautiful history that can be traced through these art forms when you curate them well, and craft forms. So that was the reason for starting Tamaala. And today we are supporting 150 rural and tribal artisans in 39 craft clusters across India. So that's where we are.
Wow, lovely, lovely. So, Vanessa, what kind of products can we expect from Tamaala?
So typically what we do for events and for weddings is what I can speak about here. If there is, we do the regular mehendi gifts which are required in bulk. For instance, there are gifts which are required sometimes at low budgets because they have to be given away in bulk and to everybody, and there is no curation required significantly for that because it's meant to go to all the guests. So then those are like, budgets of 100, 200, 300 rupees, 500 rupees. those budget gifts we curate for occasions. And then we also curate high-end gifts. Like, for example, we have miniature Mysore palaces, miniature monuments, which we create with great dexterity and beauty, and they have lighting inside and all that. Those kind of high-end gifts again go to people who are the special people. So obviously every event has got levels of gifting, and the curation and the planning happens according to the budget and who it is going to also. But one common thread running right across is whether the gift is worth 100 rupees or it is worth 10,000 rupees. The storyline and the effort that we take in every gift is the same. So because we want the people to understand the history and process of the making, the history and the life of the artisan, and how the, how much effort is taken or what process or methods are involved in creating that. So the recipient of the gift is not just getting a gift; he's or she is getting some bit of information, and they have many more ways of connecting with what has been given to them. So it's not some object ki some gift we have got, we'll keep it on the shelf and we'll forget about it. That's what typically happens to most of the gifts. And we want that involvement level to come through, that personal touch to come through, and that connectedness that, wow, this is possible in India, or wow, this is there in India. So, that's the kind of amazement of discovery, that joy that comes saying that, oh, I'm so proud to be, part of this country. And let me tell my friends about it. This is what I got, and things like that.
So lovely, Vinay. So lovely. You are reviving our culture all over the place.
So it will take, actually, to be frank, it will take a million people like me to do justice to that's the size of the potential in India. And so we are happy to be a small part of it, and we're doing what we can in our space. But yes, we are enjoying it. So
I agree. At least there's a start to it, and congratulations on that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
So, Vinay, could we see one or two things if possible, since you're in the studio?
Sure. So here we have one of our innovations which got adopted by, or rather went as a gift to ISRO. And they were looking, in fact, their deputy director wrote a blog about how innovative this gift was. And it's also gone to a couple of personal events, like a couple of weddings and birthdays also. So this is something called the terracotta mobile amplifier. It looks like this. It's a piece of clay which has been worked on with some dexterity, and there's a wooden bangle on it. So the story of the making is that the clay is made by the pottery cluster, which is in a couple of pockets of Karnataka. The wooden bangle comes from Chenapatna, and the artwork on top of it is done by a self-help group called 𝗏𝗪𝗡 from outskirts of Karnataka. So as a combination of three clusters, there is three income levels, as far as we are concerned, three income levels getting generated for artisans. For some people who are giving the gift, even this information is important, that, we are working, because there was a lot of movement after COVID that people wanted to know what they are gifting, who's getting the benefit of that. So when we pack it with the information as to who is making it and where the benefits are going, people feel very happy that somehow they are contributing to artisans in the villages who obviously need money, given the way the COVID is panning out, and it doesn't seem to be ending very soon. So that is one good thing. And in this, we also can provide, depending on the volumes, a branding for the organization. Here we have, for example, had the ISRO logo come onto the product. And the beauty is that it's a working amplifier. And for us, I'll show you. So it works like this. It sits on the table, and it has a side view like this. The amplification is very significant. It is. It has a range of 40 feet.
Wow.
And probably won't be able to hear me speak when the real music starts. This is the initial part of the music. So here is it's also, an example of what is possible with our rural artisans if we can give them the right design ideas. So they have the skill, they have the expertise, they have the capability of understanding and translating design into wonderful creations. It's just a question of, how we give them those opportunities. So like this, we took the same idea into the wood crafting cluster, and we made the Chanpatna mobile amplifier, which is, like this. So this sits on the table again, and it has its own strengths in terms of how it amplifies. So this again is, it's important to talk about this is what we do with every product, that there is a little bit of a write-up as to how it is made and why it is, such an amazing piece. So this is like made out of ivory wood, which is white wood. And this wood comes from the Ramnagara Forest Department. This wood cannot be used for anything else. So it's also known as green wood. It is completely renewable forest. The department sells this to the craft park. We buy it in some quantity. And then the color that is used on top of the wood is 100% organic. Minus the flowers that you see, which are the decorative bits, the base color is 100% organic. So for people who want 100% organic color, we can give that to them. So this is like a combination of jamun and indigo. And that's how you get this deep blue color that I'm holding in my hands. Wow. And the beauty is, for some people today, that's very important, saying that we are 100% organic, we are sustainable, this is sustainable gifting. I would say that is coming back, especially after COVID, it's coming back in a big way. Where even when you're doing events, there are so many people I've seen in wedding events, they've started advertising the fact that they're zero waste weddings, that, they are 100% able to give back. I'm sure I saw a couple of people in our own GWA doing that, no waste, zero waste weddings. And it's really wonderful to see that movement happening. I guess gifting like this very easily joins a movement like that, where there is awareness as to what we are giving, who is giving it, and also the fact that the product itself is sustainable. So this replaces an electronic speaker, which is, typically made abroad. I won't name the country. And so from an Indian point of view, saying that, okay, this is make in India, I would say this goes beyond make in India. This goes to handmade in India, and that too by our rural artisans. So where it comes to conscious gifting, a little bit of consciousness for sustainability, for the environment, for our own artisans and their livelihoods, I think these kind of gifts fit in the bill superbly. And these are, of course, designer gifts, which are meant for, I would say, people who are more contemporary in their outlook. But if you were to see, we have the regular palaces and the lavish looking gifts, which are also handmade by our artisans. So those gifts are, I would say, traditional, but they are also very important because the people who want to give them are really proud that, why you get a Taj Mahal as a gift. If you were to go anywhere in the north region, is because you're really proud of a monument which is built with so much of dexterity. Similarly, we are proud of our Mysore Palace in the south, in Karnataka, and giving that as a gift becomes, a very nice thing. So the person who's giving it also feels really proud that, this is there's so much of heritage and so much of skill that is there in the artisans who's able to convert their skill into creating a monument like this. So I'll probably show you one of the Mysore palaces also.
So Vinay sir, if we would like to understand that, where could we view all these gifts that are available, where do we go?
So we have Tamaala.com, which is an e-commerce portal where we have some of the gifts which are lined up, which are, I would say, it gives the person a fair idea as to the range. of products that we are working with and the regions that we are working with. If you were to see from there, many people actually look at the website and then they give us a call saying that we saw this, we like it, but can you do something like this? So normally, especially in an event, there's no straight saying that, okay, you look at the website and then I say, I want to order 1,000 of this. It never happens because obviously there is some requirement, there is, some thing that we have to work into. Just wanted to show you the Mysore Palace, and the beauty is that this is completely with lighting. You'll see a lit version on our website as well. But you can see the insides of the palace once it's lit, and the finesse with which it's been done, I'm telling you, you'll have to believe me, it's just amazing. So so we make this for a couple of public sector undertakings. So we are the gifting partners to them, and they buy from us even though they are supposed to be buying from the government handicraft showroom. So that is a testimony to the kind of quality that we work.
Fantastic, Vinay. Now, let's say when you say that this is for an event, how long do you think you can take, and what are the pieces, number of pieces, or the quantity that you could manage? How big is your team?
So we have a full-time team of about 3 people. So I know that's not much given the scale of work that we have undertaken. But the beauty is that we work with partner NGOs, and we have about 8 partner NGOs right now. So whenever, for example, there was a gifting requirement of about 1,500 units, which we had to, and most of this was handmade. So 1,500 handmade units is actually a huge order if you were to see any craft cluster. But we managed to pull it off in less than a month's time. And that is fully packaged, gift wrapped, and delivered to individual locations across the country. So we can undertake huge logistic gifting like that as well. So that's why actually a couple of companies have outsourced their gifting to us, where they have international speakers, and they trust us to do everything end to end. Once the speaker or the panel discussion is done, from there we just work like clockwork, package the gift, and plan the shipping, and make sure that it reaches the their customer, their panel member. So that's how it is. I just wanted to show you the intricacies of the palace so that you can enjoy it. So you see the top turret lighting. This is the main building of the Mysore Palace. If you've been to Mysore, I'm sure you've been, but the experience itself is really nice. That when someone wants to look at gifting something like this, and if it goes with a story card of the history of the creation of the palace and all that things, then the experience that you're creating in the receiver is really amazing. Of course, these are in the premium category of gifting. These are the premium category.
No, the memories are definitely etched.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah. So
no, I was just saying, looking at that, I was just saying that the memories are definitely etched. Giving out such a beautiful memory gift is awesome. Yeah. Lovely.
Absolutely. So yeah, fantastic. And we also have, you can see behind me on the walls, art from various parts of the country, like that. On my left is the Mysore inlay work, which you see. We have wonderful Gond, the tribal work just behind me, which is created by Gond artisans from the Dindori district. Now, pre-COVID, we used to actually get these artisans into events. So a couple of weddings, we actually got artisans from the villages to come and show their craft and practice it. And people ended up buying small things from them also there, and they felt like that they're supporting them, and that connectedness also comes. And the event takes a whole new flavor, where you have rural artisans practicing something, and it feels like a mela and not just a wedding. So some people who want that kind of curation, we were able to do it. Now we'll have to wait, I guess, till the COVID numbers again come down for us to be able to do something like that, because these people have to travel long distances and come from villages. But yes, that is something that we have done, and that has had very good feedback from our users.
So Vinay, what you're saying is that probably for an event, once everything opens up, we are hoping very soon, you could actually host a workshop at a wedding or at an event?
Yes, absolutely. We've done it. So we've done so many pottery workshops. So we have village potters who come, and when you learn an art and craft from a village potter, there's this lot of purity that they come out with, in terms of their relationships and emotions and their connectedness. They're very grounded in the way they talk, and they're very worldly wise in many ways. So it's wonderful in an event when you interact with someone like that, and the whole flavor of the event changes dramatically. So for some people who want that earthy connectedness, I think that's a great option to go to. That's just one example. We can curate many more such art and craft forms at events and weddings.
Lovely, Vinay, lovely. So just one last question for you. What is the USP for Tamaala?
Yeah, so I think what our customers tell us is that every time they step into our studio or they look at a catalog, they are surprised that, hey, this is also there. Oh, wow, this is possible, or this was existing. I never knew about it. So there's a certain surprise element that gets packed into our experience interacting with us, simply because we are also in this process of discovery as to what is possible from our various clusters in India. And what can be handmade is always, wonderful. Otherwise, you wouldn't think that we wouldn't think rather before we started doing this that we could probably replace a Bluetooth speaker with a handmade product. So those are possibilities that make us think on what is possible, and the fact that when the gift reaches someone, especially if it's a gifting occasion, and that's what most of the global wedding network people would be looking at as for the personal touch, and the fact that it goes with a lot of significant information, which is not like a big book which you'll keep aside and not read. It's packaged very nicely so that it makes for interesting reading. At the same time, it's not excessive information, and people feel connected with the product that's been given to them, and they don't treat it as a product, and they treat it as something really special, saying that, wow, I've got this, and this is a talking point. And we've had so many people going onto social media and showcasing our gift where they have received it at events. So that's a testimony to the fact that normally doesn't happen. You go to an event, you get some gift, and it's there sitting somewhere in your cupboard or shelf, and mostly unopened in many cases. And we've had people going onto social media and boasting, saying that this is the kind of thing they got, and this is so wonderful, and they're talking about our artisans. So that's like real testimony to the kind of work that we do, and we are trying to do, at least. So it's a huge journey. Like I said, 750 clusters in India, and we are working only in 39 right now. So there are miles and thousands of kilometers to go before we sleep.
Lovely, Vinay. So tell us how the viewers of GWN, this particular live feed, how we can help you out. What is the way that we could help you out?
Sure. We would be happy, obviously, to get connected to events which are looking for curated gifting. Anyone who's looking for handmade in India gifting solutions. And we have found that is increasing in the last 1 year, especially post-COVID. One is, of course, there is this whole CSR kind of angle which is coming, saying that, what can we do that will impact our rural artisans, our poor artisans, our tribal artisans. That angle is always there. And the second is, what can we give which is made in India and not made in some other country? So both these movements we have found is having some impact on the way people are curating and gifting. And I'm sure any opportunities like this, we'll be happy to jump in and see how we can provide our solutions. So we look forward to the Global Wedding Network to pass on any such referrals if they are. And of course, for your own events, we'll be most happy to curate.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Vinay. It was absolutely fantastic and awesome talking to you, understanding so much about Tamaala, knowing such rich culture is being promoted through your company. Fantastic job on that, my friend. Awesome. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Yogesh-ji. It's been wonderful talking to all you guys. And thank you for the time and the air time that you're giving us. So all this will go a long way in supporting our artisans. We are sure. So,
absolutely.
thank you very much.
Yeah. Absolutely.